Pennsylvania. In the 5 Tech Solutions Combs Bus and Truck Service, Premac Incorporated Cameron Construction, 72C, it's Jason Covert.
Rolling off in that third spot from Claysburg, PA, in the Steve-O's Pizza, Brown's Funeral Homes, Curb Appeal, Richie's Well Drilling. Car number 52, it's going to be Brian Benton. And on to the outside of him, this driver comes from Mifflintown, PA, in the Berry Siding and Seamless Gutters, Locust Hill Custom Butcher Shop, Addicted to Dirt PR Management, MS Shock Therapy, car number 86 of Austin Berry.
Inside of row number 3 from Winchester, West Virginia, in the FJ Industrial Mechanical, Watermelon Park, Rocket Chassis, Olin's 94, it's Jason Miller. And to the outside of him from Lewistown, Pennsylvania, the Dixon Alignment Exhaust, Class 1 Trekking, Leggett Race Engines, Gravy Train Express, 17, it's Nick Dixon.
Rolling off 7th from Jonestown, PA, in the Diffin Box, Kettle Chips, Russ Gibble, Roofing and Siding, Bernheisel Race Cars, Focus, Shock Technologies, car number 119 of Brian Bernheisel. And to the outside of him in the Hampstead, Maryland, from Doug's Garage, WE Sales, Sporting Goods, Fryco, Bosley Towing, car number 21 of Chad Myers.
From Georgetown, Delaware, in the Stokely Material, Penske by JDS, Hard Scrabble Express, 7, it's Ross Robinson. On the outside of him, from Port Royal in the River Valley Builders, 33, it's Trent Brenneman.
Green flag is out. The second heat race is underway for the Super Late Models. Stone will lead the pack in the turn number 1 car, slowing on the top side. That's going to be the 72 of Jason Covert. See if he is able to get off the racetrack as we have a battle for the lead in turn number 4.
Yeah, Austin Berry got a great start from the green flag. Now battling for the lead here with Stone. Not going to get it on this time by, but they'll round out your top 2 with 2 laps underway.
Here comes Nick Dixon in the 17. Trouble in turn number 2. The second place car of Austin Berry coming to a stop. Caution flag is out. The 86 of Austin Berry spinning in turn number 2, and the 17 and Nick Dixon getting on the binders. Hopefully he didn't make any contact there in turn number 2 as the caution flag is out.
Shame for Austin Berry, who looked so good on that start. Went from 4th
as we
to
will have a
second.
replay here on the Flow Sports. There goes Berry, just sends her in a little too deep there, spins out in the slick. We'll look at it one more time. Berry just gets sideways, and Dixon, then 17, had nowhere to go. So lights out on top of the John Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck. 7 laps to go. The 2D of Dan Stone is your leader. Then you have the 94 Jason Miller on the inside of the second row, and beside him the 7R of Ross Robinson. Then you have the 119 of Brian Bernheisel, the 33 of Trent Brenneman, the 21 of Chad Myers, the 52 of Brian Benton, and then the 17 of Dixon and the 86 of Berry. So they're going to head on over to the restart zone there in turn number 4. Dan Stone will once again bring him back to green.
They bring him to the chalk line here in turn number 4. Green flag waves, and look out, here comes Ross Robinson with great momentum off that start, but will lose the handle a bit in turn number 1, trying to battle back, and will blow by Stone here for the lead on the backstretch.
Yeah, you can see Robinson, when he goes into the corner, the car tightens up just a little bit, but it is able to really gain some momentum on the exit of the turns, as like you said, Brad, here he comes. He will lead lap number 2. Dan Stone in second. Shout out to Trent Brenneman in third. Here comes Bernheisel in the 119. Going to look down low at Jason Miller. That's a battle for 4th.
Brenneman trying to work his way into second. Will follow Stone to the high side. Robinson working the bottom here. He continues to lead as their single file through the field here. 3 laps gone.
The preferred line right now is around the top side here at the Port Royal Speedway. Dan Stone closing in on your leader of Ross Robinson, trying to bring Trent Brenneman with him. Still, the top 3 cars working the top side of the racetrack. Bernheisel still looking low of Jason Miller as we are halfway in the books.
Robinson continues to lead now to the inside of Brenneman goes. Miller, he's going to force him up the track, slam the door shut. Brenneman with nowhere to go, going to drop a second spot as well. So Miller moves his way up into third position here with 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, hopefully not a lot of damage on the 33 of Trent Brenneman, because that's going to put him in that 5th and final transfer spot in this heat race. As still, the second place car, Dan Stone, keeping Ross Robinson, the leader, honest during this heat race as those 2 cars breaking away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, battle for position between Myers and Berry, the only 2 stacked up in this field as a 2 to go sign shown to the field. Berry going to force Myers to the inside wall to maintain that position as Stone continues to reel in Robinson down the backstretch.
Yeah, you got to think of the closing laps of this heat race, Brad. If Dan Stone gets close enough, does he try for a slide job as we have the 21 of Chad Myers spinning to a stop there off the exit of turn number 2. The caution flag is out. So within 2 laps, we will go single file for the River Valley Builders Super Late Models in 2021. As you will see the cone making its way out onto the front stretch. Ross Robinson and Dan Stone, they got some laps underneath them here in early 21. Were able to make the drive down to Georgia and Florida Speed Weeks. The rest of these guys, you know, it was in the shop, maybe doing iRacing to keep them up to snuff or what. But, yeah, Ross Robinson and Dan Stone have a couple of laps underneath them to get tonight underway. So here we go. John Schaefer Dodge, Pace Strike in the infield. We're going to go green at the cone here on the front stretch.
No passing before the cone or going underneath the cone as Robinson leads him out of turn number 4. Green flag is out. 2 laps to go in heat race number 2.
Robinson with a great start. Here comes Jason Miller. He's going to challenge Dan Stone for that second spot. Hanging tough. However, Dan Stone keeping the momentum up, and he will go back into that second spot.
Now watch behind him as Bernheisel looking to get a run will go to the bottom side of Miller as they come out of turn number 4. 1 lap to go, this time by on Robinson.
Robinson looking good. Stone following through. Here comes Trent Brenneman. Battle for 4th off for turn number 2. Look to the inside of Bernheisel, but Bernheisel able to power back by. As the top 5 cars working the top side, Bernheisel, however, is going to dip low of Jason Miller, but Ross Robinson will pick up the win in the second heat race.
Making up your finishing lineup here in heat race number 2. Robinson picking up the win. Dan Stone finishing second. Jason Miller finishing in third. The 119 of Brian Bernheisel finished in 4th, and Trent Brenneman finished in that 5th and final transfer spot. Nick Dixon in the 17 was 6th. Chad Myers was in the 21 and 7th, and in 8th in the 52 was Brian Benton.
The third heat race for the River Valley Builders Super Late Models is brought to you by Buttonwood Campground. They're located just 2 miles from the Speedway along the Juniata River on East River Road. With over 270 tent and RV campsites, make sure you plan your next trip to the races and camping experience around Buttonwood Campground. Visit their website at www.buttonwoodcamp.com for details.
So making up the front row of heat race number 3. In the number 31 will be Jim Bernheisel, and starting to the outside of him from Newberrytown, Pennsylvania, the Wampler Logging, BDR Racing Products, Blazers Chassis 1W, it's Billy Wampler.
Rolling off third from Kaiser, West Virginia, the Smoky Hollow Farms, RH Lab, Tony Beckman Excavating, Race Hill Farm, car number 32 of Travis Stickley, and alongside him on the outside of row number 2, this driver hails from McClure, PA, in the Calvin Land Coal Sales, Boomerangs Bar and Grill, Aaron Brothers Fabrication and Repair, Midstate Paving, car number 14Z of Dave Browse Jr.
Inside of row number 3 from Elliotsburg, Pennsylvania, in the Flickinger's Paws and Claws Grooming Shop, Flickinger's Heating and More, SMF Racing, Faust Machine and Tool number 15. It is Scott Flickinger. And to the outside of him from Winchester, Virginia, in Larry Royston Septic Service, Leggett Engine Research, McFarland's Custom Paint number 20. It's Trevor Feathers.
And rolling off 7th from Middleburg, PA, in the Stein Trucking, Strauss Electric, Windview Trucking, Beckman Auto Body, car number 2 of Andrew Yoder. And rolling off 8th in the 3rd heat race for the River Valley Builders Super Late Models. This driver comes from Williamsport, Maryland, in the Bland's Towing, Davini's Racing Engines, Hoosier Tire, Rocket Chassis, and Chaz's Used Auto Parts, car number 41 of Justin Weaver.
9th and final starter in heat race number 3 from Lewistown, Pennsylvania, in the Lewistown Florist, Brininger Roofing, ZNS's Screen Printing, ZNM Event Rental number 25. It's Cody Leiter.
So John Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck pulling off. We're going to go green this time at the chalk line there in turn number 4. Jim Bernheiser and Billy Wampler, some of the veterans in super late model competition here in Central PA, will bring the field to the chalk line. Remember, 8 laps to the distance. Top 5 move on to the A main event.
From a snail's pace to a lightning start here out of turn number 4. Bernheisel going to be side by side with Wampler down the front stretch here. Bernheisel to the middle, Wampler to the outside, 3 wide behind them for a moment as they shuffle for position. Bernheisel will have the lead down the back straightaway.
Where does Billy Wampler go? He's going to try to run the middle. Here comes Trevor Feathers in the 20 as we got cars really battling behind them for 4th and 6th. Dave Rouse Jr. and the 32 of Travis Stickley getting together momentarily here on the front stretch. But here comes the 20 of Trevor Feathers battling Wampler for 2nd into turn number 3.
He moves his way into 2nd with that momentum. He carried down the back straightaway as Bernheisel will continue to lead here as Feathers will try to reel him in as they head into 1 and 2.
Can Trevor Feathers picks up the win here in this one? He's looking pretty good. He started 6th. He's up to 2nd. Bernheisel, you have company, and that is Trevor Feathers. Feathers tracking him down.
The difference 0.6 of a second, but Feathers continues to reel him in as they work that top side of the track through turns 1 and 2. Bernheisel trying to peel away down the backstretch, but here comes Feathers with a great run into turn number 3 and 4. Closes the gap as they come to the line. 4 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, Feathers can really get a good run on the center of the turn and off. He twists that chassis there. He pulls right behind Bernheisel, dips down low just a little bit. They go nose to tail into turn number 3. What does Feathers do? He's going to follow Bernheisel on the top side, tries to diamond the corner off of turn number 4. That wasn't a good decision as now Bernheisel pulling away.
Yeah, that cost Feathers about 0.4 of a second. So now he's got work to do here with 3 laps to go. He's looked really good in turn 3 and 4. Let's see what he does here this time by as he tries to reel him in. He does well here. Gets up alongside him just a nose for a moment. Bernheisel will continue to lead with 2 laps to go this time by.
Bernheisel looking good, but if someone's giving him signals, they're going to let him know that the 20 of Trevor Feathers is right there knocking on the door. Feathers, you could see diamond turn number 2 just was able to keep pace with Bernheisel. Bernheisel not leaving the top, so Feathers, if he wants to win, he has to try something. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go.
One more time. Let's see what Feathers has drew up through this heat race. Nose to tail through 1 and 2. Feathers needs to run a clean race here as they head down the back straightaway. Now's the chance for Feathers. He pulls up alongside. He's going to go to the inside. Let's see if he works his way back up the track. He tries, but Bernheisel with the momentum will pull back in front and pick up the win in heat race number 3.
Three-car drag race to the line for that 3rd spot. Give it to the 1W of Billy Wampler. Then you have Travis Stickley and Justin Weaver. Brad, that was a great race here for the River Valley Builders Super Light Models. How did they finish?
Yeah, rounding out this third heat race, Jim Bernheisel picked up the win. Trevor Feathers, he finished in second. Finishing third was Billy Wampler. In fourth was Travis Stickley. And in fifth was Justin Weaver. Finishing in sixth was the 2 of Andrew Yoder. Seventh, the 15 of Scott Flickinger. And finishing eighth in the Z14 was Dave Browse Jr.
Fourth and final heat race for the River Valley Builders Super Late Models making its way out right now. This heat race is brought to you by Penny and Bank. They're the official sponsor of Kids Money Scramble coming up here in August. Penny and Bank has 10 locations around the mid-state and is located on the web at www.pennyandbank.com.
Heat race number 4 making their way out onto the track now. Starting on the pole from Shermansdale, Pennsylvania, in the Red Wing Shoes, Palmer's Automotive, Baker Door Company, HV Mechanical Services, number 32J, it's Sean Jones. And to the outside of him from York, Pennsylvania, in the Dryden Firehouse Sub, Suburban Bolarama, SL Schenberger Dump Truck Service, number 0, it's Rick Eckert.
So row number 2 looks like this on the inside from Laurel, Maryland in the Kaiser Manufacturing CMI Davini Racing Engines. Hoosier Tire 05, Roy Deese Jr. And on to the outside of him from Greencastle, PA in the Chaz's Used Auto Parts, Niningers Tire and Auto Service, Maple Grove Machining, Skis Equipment and Diesel, car number 44 of Gary Stuhler.
Starting in 5th from Indiana, Pennsylvania in the Satterley Marat, Kaiser Manufacturing All About Wraps, Classic Inc. number 22, it's Greg Satterley. And to the outside of him from Lewistown, Pennsylvania in the Schmidt's Garage, number 11, it's Jason Schmidt.
Starting in that 7th starting spot, this driver comes from Mercersburg, PA in the D&D Auto Recycling, Able Roofing Construction, turn 5 turnaround. Builder's First Source, car number 2T of Kyle Lee. And on the outside of him, from Selinsgrove, PA, in the Broadband Network, Strauss Electric, GNR Excavating, Demolition, Miller's Racing Agents, car number 24, it's Yoder Nation, Dylan Yoder.
Rounding out the field from Franklin, Pennsylvania in the River's Edge Kayak and Canoes, Strongland Contracting, Skill Plumbing, Jim's Automotive, number 111, it is Matt Lux. So they'll go into turns number 3 and 4, and we'll get ready to send them off in the 4th and final heat race of the River Valley Builders Super Late Models.
Great side-by-side start there at the chalk line. Rick Eckert's going to lead them in the turns number 1 and 2. Sean Jones looking to the bottom of Gary Stuhler. Side-by-side as they make their way down the backstretch.
Yes, Stuhler in a battle, going to the high side here, seeing if he can get that momentum as they come down the straightaway. He'll move back into second. Eckert, your leader. Stuhler second, Jones in third. They round out your top 3.
Keep your eye on the 22 of Greg Satterley. He's looking to the bottom of Jason Schmidt. He'll make that pass. Now here comes Satterley looking to the bottom side of Sean Jones. They're side by side off of 4. That's a great battle for third.
Satterley trying to pick them off one by one. Jones now the target. He heads into 1 and 2, navigating that bottom side, which we haven't seen done so far through these heat races, as he's going to get a nose in front. They're going to tap down the back straightaway. Satterley's going to move into third.
Satterley showing a lot of speed here on the opening half of this heat race. Still on the outside looking in is the 24 of Dylan Yoder. Remember, we take 5 into the A main. He started 8th. He's up to 6th. He needs one more spot if he doesn't want to run the B main coming up here a little bit later. But meanwhile, already out to a straightaway lead is the 0 of Scrub, Rick Eckert.
Yeah, Rick Eckert has pulled out on this field. The difference of 5 seconds between him and Gary Stuhler as Satterley continues to reel in car by car, as Stuhler is now the next target with 3 laps to go this time by.
We will look at the interval this time by. Rick Eckert is at the flag stand right now. Gary Stuhler just coming on the front stretch. Eckert, he has worked up over a 6-second lead in an 8-lap heat race, showing dominance earlier on this afternoon.
The tightest battle on the field is between Roy Deese Jr. and Kyle Lee, as Kyle Lee shuts the door and will maintain his 7th spot as Eckert continues to pull out with 2 laps to go, as Satterley continues to try and reel in Stuhler as they head into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Stuhler showing a lot of speed on the top side in turns number 1 and 2 in car number 4, but still the 22 of Greg Satterley, trying to make something happen through the middle down there, but he's going to follow Stuhler riding the cushion off of turn number 4. But white flag is out, and Rick Ecker is G-O-N-E gone.
Satterley going to look to the inside of Stuhler, the tightest battle on this field. Eckert's going to come out of turn number 4. He'll pick up the win. We'll stay with Stuhler and Satterley. Satterley goes to the bottom side here of Stuhler, side by side as they come out of turn number 4. Stuhler's going to use that momentum, and he'll pick up second, Satterley in third here in heat race number 4. Final car across the line. Here's how they finished in heat race number 4. Eckert picked up the win. Stuhler finished in second. Greg Satterley finished in third. Sean Jones rolling off in fourth. Fifth was the 11 of Jason Schmidt. Finishing in sixth was the 24 of Dylan Yoder. In seventh was the 2T of Kyle Lee. Eighth was the 05 of Roy Deese. And rolling off ninth on the field was the 111L of Matt Lux.
And once again, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out here for the 79th annual season opener here at the Port Royal Speedway, presented by Packers Concessions. It's great people like you race fans, as we are one of the leading tracks here in the country. We have the highest purse for late model competition weekly in Central PA and the nation, and we also have a very competitive purse for the 410 sprints throughout the U.S. as well. So give you yourselves a round of applause for coming out here. Heat race number 1 for the Weikert Livestock 410 sprint cars making their way out right now. This heat race is brought to you by Insinger Race Fuels. They're the official Sunoco fuel supplier here at the Port Royal Speedway. They've been servicing the racing community for nearly 35 years.
Making up the front row here in heat race number 1 from Apollo, Pennsylvania, the Ferguson Heating and Air Condition, fenced by Maintenance Service, Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews, Chernega Construction number 2, it's AJ Flick. And to the outside of him, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in the golden flavor sesame sticks, Bud Spring and Suspension, 600 Performance AB Auto Glass, number 98, it's Jared Esch.
Rolling off third from Chicora, PA, in the Krill Recycling, Ridgeview Security, Laskowski Plumbing, Hoball's Auto Parts, car number 40, that's going to be George Hoball. And to the outside of him, this driver comes from Orwicksburg, PA, in the Blue Knob Auto, Sirocco Contracting, Mass Trucking, Studio 895, car number 35 of Tyler Reeser.
Starting in fifth from Pennington, New Jersey, in the Glen Harry Auctioneering and Transport, Clugston Lumber Company, Hank's Performance Products number 0, it is Rick Lafferty. And to the outside of him, from Sykeston, Missouri, in the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Eddie Gilstrap Motors, Roof Bolt Transport number 55, it's Hunter Schurenberg.
Fourth row looks like this on the inside from Selinsgrove, PA. In the Creasy Sign, Selinsgrove Ford Golf Racing, Penns Valley Meat Market, car number 12, that's going to be Blaine Heimbach. And rolling off in that 8th position, this driver comes from Fayetteville, PA. In the Sean Howard Plumbing, Hess Iron, Kreitz Ovaltrack Products, Rapid Tire, car number 69K of Lance DeWeese.
Starting in 9th from Mertztown, Pennsylvania, in the Abreu Vineyards, CP Sorillo, ASF Motorsports Ample Electric number 20, it's Ryan Taylor. And to the outside of him, from Evendale, Pennsylvania, in the JP Adamski Trucking, Evendale Tire, X1 race car number 19, it is Kurt Straup.
So drivers being told over the Port Royal Speedway radio system to get in line behind that beautiful John Schaefer Dodge Pace truck in turn number 1. Always good to have some invaders here. The 55 of Hunter Schoenberg. He'll be rolling off 6th in this heat race. Was able to talk with him over the phone last week. They're going to be coming up to Port Royal Speedway when they're not on the All-Star Tour to get in as many laps as they can, because we have the All-Stars here quite a bit in 2021. And remember, we always have that big Tuscarora 50.
Yeah, you talked about how we're one of the top tracks in the country when it comes to weekly purse, but I mean, it has to be very telling when guys like Hunter Schoenberg show up on their nights off from the regular All-Star Tour to come and get laps in here for a big race like the Tuscarora 50 that comes up during Fair Week at the end of the year.
So the sprint car heat races will be 10 laps the distance. 6 cars move on into their 25-lap A main event here a little bit later this afternoon. AJ Flick and Jared Esch make up your front row. Some heavy hitters in this one, starting in the middle and the rear of the field. We're going to have to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, so eyes are definitely on that baby blue 69K Earl starting towards the back of the field. We'll see what he does here as we get ready for the green flag, ready to wave on the first heat race of the Weikert Livestock 410s in the 2021 Port Royal Speedway racing season. Cars are off, green flag is out.
Cars thundering into turn number 1. AJ Flick, he's going to be your early leader. Here comes Lance DeWeese working the bottom side. The 69K is already up to 4th, looking for more. In front of him, here comes Hunter Schoenberg trying to put a slide job on Jared Esch. Can't quite do it. Esch sideways in front of the field. What great driving, and everyone gets by. The yellow flag is out. Oh my, Brad, it doesn't get much closer than that.
No, again, nerves might be coming into play here, ready to get started with the first race of the season. And Jared Esch in a tight battle with Schoenberg lost the handle there in turn number 4. And like you said, great driving. I mean, we talk about the driving that you see when the green flag is out, but I mean, the skills are really put to the test when you got a car backwards in front of you.
And absolutely, like I said during the River Valley Builder Super Late Model Heat races, this is only some of the first guys' laps here. You know, Lance DeWeese, he was able to head out to Arizona at the end of January and really shake down the car there. Got to talk with him a little bit. He was able to learn some things over there, and hopefully they can apply it this season as we can see a replay on Flow Racing. Jared Esch just coming out of the corner sideways in front of the field. Close quarters, Brad. I mean, heads up driving by these guys in the 410 sprints this afternoon.
Yeah, your heart jumps up into your throat. You're holding your breath, just trying to dive around. You don't want your night to come to an end on lap number 1 of heat race number 1.
We'd like to welcome Lori Yingling back to PRS. I'm sure the ultras are flowing. Can't wait to meet up with her at the end of tonight's show. She always makes some great food for us at the end of programs. She's a big Penn State fan, by the way. As I got a feeling I got a text message coming my way. As officials talking to the drivers and gonna get these guys into the correct starting lineup, and we should be going lights out this time by.
Your front row now continues to be AJ Flick on the inside, but now Tyler Reeser has moved up to that second spot as Jared Esch will have to tag the rear of the field after he lost the handle there in turn number 4.
So here we go. Complete restart. AJ Flick, Tyler Reeser going to bring them down to the chalk line. Green flag is out. We're underway. What a great start by AJ Flick. But here comes Tyler Reeser. Shot out of a cannon. He's going to lead him into turn number 1.
Watch the battle here as Schoenberg going to go to the inside. Can't get Flick. Flick now in second. Here comes the 69K. He's going to move up into 3rd as they head into turns number 3 and 4.
Lance DeWeese looking down low. He's going to challenge AJ Flick for that second spot off of turn number 4. Reeser, he'll lead lap number 1. Here comes the National Sprint Car Hall of Famer. Can't quite get the entrance down. Just missed his mark right there, but AJ Flick is in second. He's going to hold that there. DeWeese following him on the top side. Then it's Schoenberg and Blaine Heimbach.
They make up your top 5 battle for 6 as Jared Esch continues to work the 20. Ryan Taylor, who worked that top side to perfection, and pulls out on him as we're single file through the track here as Reeser leads into turn 3.
A little bit of smoke coming out of the left engine bank of the 35 car. We're going to see if that will affect the engine's performance here in this 10-lap heat race, but it doesn't look like to be affecting him now. As you can see, he moved the top wing back just a little bit as the track is starting to get a little more slick. All right, and you got to use some throttle control, and you don't want to lose traction in those big rear tires that they have on the rear ends of these race cars. Still, he's holding his own. Then you have AJ Flick in second, Lance Deweese in third with 6 laps to go.
1 second the difference between Reeser and Flick. Reeser lost the handle a little bit there coming out of turn number 2. We'll see if Flick can reel him back in a bit here as Reeser going to come to the line. 5 laps to go. This time by. The difference at the line still continues to be about a second. So Reeser continues to dominate here as he heads down the backstretch.
We're still in the mid 17-second bracket in these heat races, as still the track is very top dominant for the 410 sprints. Reeser, remember, at the later half of last year's racing season, he got into a very violent crash and got banged up a little bit to where he had injuries that he wasn't supposed to race the rest of the 2020 racing season. But I talked to him a little bit earlier today in the pit area. He is absolutely looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, what a way to come back, having your season tragically ended like it was last year to injury, to come out and be so dominant here in the first heat race of the season at Port Royal. As he comes to the line this time, 2 laps to go. He's still got about a second lead over AJ Flick.
Kurt Strout, lap traffic, giving these guys plenty of room to move around him on the top side. Lance Deweese now slowly but surely closing on the second place car of AJ Flick. This time by white flag is out, 1 to go for Reeser.
Reeser pulling away a bit now, put a 2/10 of a difference between him and AJ Flick. He's going to come down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4 as the checkered flag gets ready to wave on heat race number 1.
How about it, race fans? Tyler Reeser coming off a 4, and he will win the first heat race for the Weikert Livestock 410 sprint cars.
So they're all across the line. Here's how they finished. Tyler Reeser picking up the win. AJ Flick finished in second. In third was the 69K of Lance Deweese. And fourth was the 55 of Hunter Schoenberg. Fifth was the 12 of Blaine Heimbaugh. And in the sixth and final transfer spot was the 20 of Ryan Taylor. And rounding out the field was the 98 of Jared Esch.
Second heat race for the Weikert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars is brought to you by Event Septic Services of Landisburg. They're proudly servicing as Port Royal Speedway's official portable